So as you said, you've asked me this for years.
Yeah. Never got any.
And it's always been always been nonsense. Yeah. But what do I always say I owe the audience?
Well, honesty and fairness.
Honesty.
And to some people out there, $1,200.
I don't owe anyone money.
Sometimes some poker rooms out there.
I don't ever carry debts over into the show.
Sorry.
But I saw Xavier Worthy get hurt on the third play of the season. Mm-hmm. I saw the Chiefs, after never once in Patrick Mahomes' career, go 0 for on third downs in a half until the Super Bowl, then do it again.
Eek.
I saw the secondary got shredded consistently throughout the entire night. And I saw a guy who I believe is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer in Chris Jones make a mental mistake that deprived Patrick of a chance of an all-time comeback. So they could, like, 3rd and 14, get the ball back down 6, pull it out of the fire. And I went to bed nervous. And I didn't sleep much. And it was an angsty, bad night. And Saturday I got in an argument with my wife, and she did nothing wrong, but it was because I was mad at the Chiefs and I was walking around like that. And then something magical happened, KW.
What?
The Ravens lost?
Sunday football started. And at 1 o'clock, I'm watching the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm like, well, they're somehow worse than last year. Defense just as bad. Offense can't protect.
Yeah.
Then on the other screen, I see the threatening, scary Denver Broncos.
No.
And Bo Nix is doing his trademark Mac Jones impression. And I feel a little less uneasy. And then 4 o'clock rolls around, and I see CJ still hasn't gotten over his professorial funk ever since post-Caleb. And then the night game happens. And some of that angst returns briefly, but then I see Baltimore is still Baltimore, and if Buffalo's plan is, we'll beat you in a shootout in January, okay, maybe 5th time's the charm. And then I hear this morning, Xavier's day-to-day, not week-to-week or month-to-month, and a total calm came over me. And I slept like a baby last night. Was that game good? No. Did they play well for more than brief spurts? Obviously not. Now that I have seen the full landscape and how every team in the AFC looked, do I think any team in the AFC, both sides of the ball, looked excellent this weekend? Not even close to it. The closest is Greg's Colts. And so, no, I'm not.
What about the Chargers?
No, obviously, I was leaving out the Chargers. No, the Chargers looked phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And Justin Herbert played the best game of his life. And we'll see if they are the contender that I'm sure Danny and others believe they are. I am less convinced of that. They played great and they deserve the win. Yeah. But am I worried? I was worried. And then I saw the rest of the league on Sunday, and I am no longer worried.
Look, I won't write the Chiefs off. We've seen them play poorly, lose games even a few years ago, and come back and win the Super Bowl. But they didn't look good. And Mahomes made magic with his legs. I thought he was big with his legs in the second half. It was almost like he was like upset, which he probably was.
Can I show you a graphic to support that?
Yeah.
Last 25 games, Mahomes has led the team in rushing 3 times. 2 of them were Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And there was an element when he trucked. I forgot who he trucked. He was trying to get people started. So it felt like Mahomes.
In this game. Yeah.
When Mahomes like, I have to do my Super Bowl stuff. I prefer not to do that week 1.
Yeah, he even did the horizontal pass like he has done in the Super Bowl. He did a lot of Superman stuff
too.
He did. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he looked. I thought he looked good. Obviously, it wasn't great throwing the ball, but made some big passes, obviously, and was great with his legs. But the Chargers put it on him.
Yeah.
I mean, Herbert was phenomenal, and Harbaugh proved to looked like a great coach, which we know he is. Their defense, which was one of the best in the league last year, gave up no rushing yards to other than Mahomes scrambling. The chart, I was surprised by, because remember I had said I think the Chargers might beat them in Brazil, could challenge them for the division title. But when they lost Rashawn Slater, I was like, oh, I think they'll still make the playoffs, but they're not a contender. I was stunned that they looked so good without Slater. And Justin, like we talked about it, you said I think Friday, or maybe it was Thursday or Friday, their receiving core outside of Lad McConkey isn't great, but Johnston looked good.
No,
like
the Chiefs,
their
the part
receiving
of the
core
game,
looks
listen,
really good.
The part of the
with
Chiefs that I think is going to be a significant work in progress is pass rush / combined with the secondary.
Right.
Similar to
Pass
my
defense.
criticism about the Eagles on Thursday. Like that.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I'm glad he brought up the Eagles because, honestly, I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I can draw my conclusion. The Chiefs will not make the Super Bowl. I'm just following Nick's logic. He saw the Philadelphia Eagles play on Thursday. The Philadelphia Eagles played light years better, both offensively and defensively, better than the Kansas City Chiefs. Their quarterback played better. Their defense played better. Everyone played better. They didn't even have to use their pieces, AJ or Devontae. And they weren't good. They're not good enough. They're not good enough to win the Super Bowl, to get to the Super Bowl. And I saw the Chiefs play on Friday. They're just not good enough. I've seen enough. That's the logic. It's funny that the Kansas City Chiefs have room to kind of work some things out, a work in progress, can get back into the flow of things. But no other team has that. No other team has that on the table for them. Weird how that works. Weird how that works. Listen, to me, the most worrying thing about the Chiefs is the defense. Patrick Mahomes was not great that game. He just was not. He had his moments where he was great, but overall, it was not a great game. He was inaccurate, and again, you can't blame the receivers for some of the bad throws that he was making. There was times that he just looked uncomfortable. The offense looked uncomfortable. It obviously had its flashes because it's still Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid and co. But it just wasn't that good. Now, I think obviously with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, the offense will be radically different and way better. But to me, seeing that defense not be great and not great situationally, that to me was more concerning than anything else. Because if you are going up against the Buffalo Bills, you are going up against the Baltimore Ravens, you are going up against the Packers, the Eagles, like these are all teams that feel like you can really, they can really operate high-level offenses. And Nick, this whole time he kept saying that the Chargers don't have good offensive weapons, and now that their O-line is injured, right? That they're not this great offensive team, and yet that non-great offensive team was able to just work the Chiefs like it was nothing. And really, right now, their still main weapon really is just Lad McConkey, especially specifically in the passing game. And again, like I pointed out, I don't want to hear people bring up injuries because nobody offered that to Justin Herbert the last time these guys played each other when he didn't even have Lad McConkey. He had no one. And Quinn Johnson is dropping passes left and right, and no one said anything. They said, oh, Justin Herbert's just not good enough. And Patrick Mahomes that game had DeAndre Hopkins, had Travis Kelce, Pacheco was back. He was just missing Rashee Rice at that point. So, if you're supposed to be able to find a way, you're supposed to be able to find a way. The difference was that his defense wasn't able to keep it manageable this time around. If his defense was able to play as great as it played in years past, hold them to 18, 19 points, boom, they win. Come up with that key stop. Yeah, the Chiefs could come back and win that game. Undeniably. Especially if you're giving someone like Patrick Mahomes and Andy 4-down territory. When they know it's 4 downs, like, all right, that really opens things up now. So that to me is what's more concerning because I don't think the offense is just going to be bad. I don't think the offense is just going to be average because I do believe, I know the offense has obviously been on a bit of a decline, but I do believe in Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy, Mahomes and Andy right? I mean, Kelsey, I think, will just have his moments, but he's clearly not who he was, which is also on the Chiefs to keep trotting him out there and pretending like he is. I'm not telling you cut the guy, right? He's obviously a legend with the Chiefs, but like he doesn't have to be a primary focus either. You don't have to cater to him. You cater to him by giving him millions of dollars and multiple Super Bowl rings. The dude he wouldn't have even met Taylor Swift if it wasn't for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the reality. If he was playing for the Carolina Panthers, you think he's calling out Taylor and she's like, oh, sure, let's hang out? Nah. So the Chiefs don't owe him anything. They owe him nothing. And again, I'm not telling you that he gets benched or that he doesn't play, but it's just like they can operate and make him a little bit less of a focus if he's really not that good anymore, if he's really far from his prime, which I don't even think is necessarily inherently true per se. I just think that you need a more balanced offense. You really do need Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice to take a lot of attention to then just, rely on a Travis Kelce a lot less. But Travis Kelce really only had one big moment, and that was, just a beautiful play call by Andy Reid to just scheme him, just get him wide open with the fake block and run. So, that was just obviously a layup. But it seems like right now, at least, any of the other stuff just seems a lot harder to get by. And then again, you see Chris Jones fighting with the defensive players. You see Travis Kelce getting mad at the O-line. I mean, I think this was a combination between the Chiefs just being rusty, because we saw that all around the league, a lot of teams just not being connected quite yet, dealing with injuries, playing finally now teams that are better coached, like the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers even made a mistake. It shouldn't even been that close. The Chargers gifted Mahomes and the Chiefs multiple opportunities. Gifted the wide open Hollywood Brown on that great scramble by Mahomes. The rookie running back getting out of bounds and giving the Chiefs time to close out the hat. Like, those are things that you just can't happen. Can't happen. And yet this time around for the Chiefs, it was always if the other team even remotely makes a mistake, that's it. That's all you need. The Chiefs just need the door cracked open. The tiniest mistake by the other team, that's it. That's done. I'm watching Chiefs game, and if I see a turnover or a bad call on third down, a missed extra point, if it's in the first quarter or the fourth quarter, I'm always like, oh, that's it. That's all the Chiefs needed. That's it. That's the game. That's all they need. They just, you decided to throw on 3rd and 2 when you should have done, whatever it is. Any mistake, whether it's like a decision or whether like an actual like fumble or whatever, taking a really bad sack and now you're out of field goal range and that would have been an easy 3 points. Now you're kicking a 58-yarder and you miss it. It's like, oh, that's all they needed. That's all they needed. It feels less like that now, as shown as the Chargers making multiple mistakes and yet still able to come away with the win. That to me is also an interesting key point to be on the lookout. But I think, of course, you should be concerned about the Chiefs. But I mean, in terms of worried as in like, this is it, they're done, they can't get to the Super Bowl, they're not going to be great. It's week 1. It's week 1. And I do believe Spags will improve that defense in the coming weeks. I do believe once they get Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy on the field, Mahomes is obviously going to look a lot better. I do believe Andy Reid, even if Xavier Worthy ends up being a lot more hurt than even he realizes, and Travis Kelce really is just got nothing left in the tank, him and Mahomes will find a way to at least make that offense somewhat passable, right? So that's just the belief that I have, with the Chiefs and Mahomes. So I don't think there needs to be panic necessarily. But when you do look at some of the other games and see some of the other offenses rolling, specifically the Ravens and the Bills, yeah. If you don't look at how great the Bills and the Ravens looked offensively, especially, like, yeah, man, those two quarterbacks are playing at their highest level right now. No question about it. You cannot say Mahomes is playing at his highest level right now. Not saying that he can't get there or that he won't be there, but he's just not at the moment. Lamar and Josh Allen are. But like we know, it matters most in the playoffs. But we'll see how this division unfolds too, because the Chargers already got one win, the Broncos got a win, and the Raiders got a win. right? And they're 0-1 in the division right now. So we'll see if that puts them on their back foot, and if they can't kind of, dig themselves out of this hole a little bit to start the season. But I mean, I don't think anyone really needs to panic right now. Really no team when you kind of look around the NFL. But I mean, maybe the Miami Dolphins, but outside of that, I think it's just week one, and we don't have to be too firm in either crowning a champion or burying, especially a champion. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Kansas City Chiefs losing and struggling and just not looking quite right against the Los Angeles Chargers? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.